I do it for the good, it be for my people. I do it for the hood, it be for my people. And everything I think about, it be for my people. Great rising to the family. This is your good brother. This is your good brother. Second son. That's second with a K. S-U-N. Because I am Carolyn's second son. We in on another session today. Disclaimer. I'm going to make a disclaimer at the top of the session here. You know how you got men, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times, I'm going to say sometimes women too, that have a fetish for cars, automobiles, motorcycles, etc. Your good brother has that same passion for the human body and how it works. I've always been fascinated with the human body. You know how, again, we got brothers and sisters. Everybody knows somebody in their family that's just, that's their thing. Cars, bikes. Mine is the human body. Today we delving into the mystery of Santa Claus. We're going to reveal it today. Today we're revealing the mystery of Santa Claus. You see? Because it's very important for these babies to know who they are. Man, know thyself, and to thine own self be true. We coming in, we digging in George W Carey. A piece of his work. Inez Eudora Perry, she came in and, kind of revised some of his work. God, Man, The Word Made Flesh, one of my favorite authors, George W. Carey. He also did The Wonders of the Human Body and The 12 Salts of Salvation. The Power of the Zodiac. This section today we're digging into is entitled Santa Claus on page 107. Let's get into it. All down the ages, there have been stories of fairies, gnomes, mermaids, naiads, and fabled characters galore. The ancient Norsemen, Dutch, Huns, and all the Oriental races, possess literature prolific with allegories, parables, and fables built around the wonders and physical and chemical operations of the human body. The birth of the monthly seed is the basis of the Mother Goose stories and similar tales in all lands. Remember we talked about that seed, the Christ seed that's born in the solar plexus, commences at the age of 12. 12 is at that age that we know right from wrong. So this is where we gather this. We start to develop this ability and power. Watch this. Santa Claus, or Saint Nicholas, the patron saint of seafarers, virgins, and children, is the bearer of gifts to children on Christmas Eve. Of all festivals celebrated all over the known world, that held in honor of Santa Claus ranks as first in the hearts of all humanity. Old as well as young. This in itself is a most significant fact. It is time that the truth in regard to this age-long custom be made known to the world. Time that its real and true significance be understood. Then will it be truly celebrated, for it will have become an inward process as well as an outward observation. Parents from time immemorial have explained to their children that the presents which they found in their stockings when they jumped eagerly from their beds in the morning were placed there by a mysterious person called, quote unquote, Santa Claus. No one saw him come, No one saw him leave, but he left unmistakable evidence of his visit. Some children ask many questions in regard to this mysterious quote-unquote person. And when they become too insistent, the ingenuity of parents is sorely taxed to give satisfactory answers. There comes a time, however, when they must have the Santa Claus quote-unquote myth explained to them. And it is then that their deep childlike trust and confidence in their parents receive its first shock. Thereafter, they commence to doubt their parents, to question their veracity. And many tears have been shed because, after all, Santa was not a quote unquote really truly person. There is a Santa Claus. Watch this, family. There is a Santa Claus. It is a physiological fact, and it does secrete the most holy and wonderful gift or substance in the body of every individual. Those who understand it, who receive it in the right spirit, have become as little children. As above, so below. As in the macrocosm, the universe, so in the microcosm, man. Can anyone think for one moment that the parables, fables, allegories, and myths that have come down to us through the ages have no basic foundation? They, as well as the fast days and feast days, are founded on great esoteric truths. Otherwise, they would have ceased to be. The great hierarchy that rules the universe see to it that nothing is forgotten that needs to be remembered. Santa Claus or Saint Claus is derived from the same root word as claustrum, from which cloister is also derived. Claustrum means a barrier, a covered place, seclusion. Cloister is referred to as a place of seclusion, and more especially as a place of seclusion for something holy, something dedicated to divinity. There is a Saint Claus or claustrum within the cerebrum, and whoever gave it that name knew why they did so. Claustrum, see? Right here. St. Claus. Right here. See how that works? The cerebrum is the upper brain. Remember, the cerebellum is the lower or the mother brain. So the cerebrum, father. You see? Bringing these gifts. The door of Brahm. The North Pole. Let's see what claustrum is. The claustrum, the crown chakra. See, that's all the North Pole. Where Santa, you see, the chimney and all that. Let's see what claustrum is. The claustrum is a thin sheet of isolated gray matter. It is a sheet of peculiar gray substance and is made up of fusiform or spindle-shaped cell bodies. Remember, we got trillions of cells, you see? But they tell me that the brain has billions. It is from this claustrum that contains yellow substance, yellow, the honey. Remember? The land of milk and honey. It is from this claustrum that contains yellow substance within its outer grayish exterior that the wonderful, priceless oil is formed. This is the oil, the precious gift of which the Bible speaks. Thou anointest my head with oil. See how that works? And not only is there oil manufactured within this special laboratory of the brain, but there is actually an olive tree. See, we got to go into all of that. This oil is the most sacred substance in the body. It is the quintessence of gold, the gold of Ophir. Most truly a rare gift. See how that works? Let's go on over here to page 110. Because again, we talking about claustrum, C-L-A-U-S, claustrum, T-R-U-M, is produced right up here in the cerebrum, where this oil is being produced. Let's go on over here to 110. This wonderful oil is the secret work of the Immaculate Virgin Mary, represented by the sign Virgo. In chemistry, we find that sulfate of potassium is the mineral salt, which, uniting with sulfur and oxygen, manufactures the oil. We find that this salt also crystallizes out from the mother liquors of seawater and salt springs. People born under the sign Virgo, if they have become deficient in this salt, suffer from dryness of the skin and baldness. We can also understand why draining of the vital fluid living in excesses will also produce baldness. If there were no oil in the body, the skin would become harsh and dry. The story of the wise virgins who had their lamps trimmed and filled with oil is given to emphasize the necessity for the presence of oil in the body, for they cannot go out to meet the bridegroom, quote unquote, unless their lamps are burning. The Lamb is the lamp thereof. The olives which contain the oil are the reservoirs, the relay stations, of course, which furnish the oil for the lamp, the pineal gland. That's the lamp. The pineal gland. Father, walk with me. At the top of which is the flame or eye. Third eye. See? When the kundalini, the serpent fire that lies concealed within the sacral plexus, is awakened, burns up the dross within the spinal cord and reaches the cornerium. It sets fire to this oil and thus lights the perpetual lamp, which gives the light to the whole house. Obey the laws of the land. Santa Claus is thus the giver of the supreme gift in the human body. Say that again. Santa Claus is thus the giver of the supreme gift in the human body. The oil for the perpetual lamp, the goal of Ophir, the quintessence of richness. Get your money right, you got to get your mind right. That's what a richness is. A total lack of oil in the body will, in itself, cause death. Anybody been close to death like me and seen it in a loved one, we see that skin, it dry up. It look real dry and pale. And it don't have no, you see, gloss. Santa Claus brings his gifts when the Christ Mass is celebrated. We got that? The Greek characters that stand for Christ are XPI, and the word itself, Christ, means oil in Greek. The seed is the bread of life, and when anointed with oil, Christed and crucified, become the Christ Mass, the bread, eaten in the Father's kingdom. See, remember we told you that seed, you see that seed that's born in a manger, that Christ seed, has to have the ability to make it back up to God. You see what I'm saying? Or mother and father. And that's when the Christ seed is crucified, and the crucifixion allows one to be increased in spiritual power. You see how this is working? So that's the whole esoteric meaning of Santa Claus and Christ Mass or Christmas. It's all coming from within. And of course, these chakra centers, your spirit man, is the one who allows the gifts to be given or not. Because the gifts is in the cells. That's what we got to know. The cells, the cells of the body. Take this lesson with you today, family. You see what I'm saying? So we can get law and order and not pledge allegiance to a 3/5 of a culture that is created to keep us sick and worshiping idol gods. We have to know that ye are gods. Man, know thyself, and to thine own self be true. Until the next time, peace.